I'm super happy to be here today. I'm super excited, y'all. I got a special guest. Super special, man. This one gonna be a good one, man. Got a couple stories. He's a rapper. He's a worker, a father, provider, a protector. I actually think that's high on the list. You know what I'm saying? Overall, good dude, grinder, been doing it for a long time to now, taking care and raising a beautiful family. It's been a beautiful thing to see, man. Super excited to have you here. I remember when your name wasn't even what your name is now. That's how far we go back. Yo, we got finally to tell his story. DizzoBay in the building. How do you already do that? See that little hesitation? Boom, boom, you got to go. Hey, man, I'm glad you're here.
It's a blessing.
So this show's unique. You want to know why? This is going to be the first time that I'm going to start a show talking about myself, telling a story about me. So this is something that happened to me. You actually know what happened to me. I'm telling the people. So this is a stupid problem to have, right? So I live about a half hour from here. So I don't have, this isn't my home base. This is just our studio or whatever, right?
Hell yeah.
So I was coming out here one day to do studio work and stuff, and my car broke down, which sucks. That sucks. But it's part of life, right? It's something you have to deal with. So I'm like, okay, I have to deal with this thing. So I go to deal with it as anyone would, and they would grab their wallet, because that's the first thing you're going to have to grab when your car breaks down. So I go to grab my wallet, and guess what? I didn't have it. My wallet was out at home. So now I'm stranded in the city, broken car, no wallet, which, you would think wouldn't be a big deal. But to someone who's been a tad isolated over the years and maybe a little too, I'll do it myself for his own good, you don't always have the network of people who will, Yeah, so I made it to the studio, though, luckily that day. And I made it to the studio, and I hadn't ate all day. I didn't have no money, and I was stuck down here, car broken. I'm not sad, though. I'm in this beautiful studio. So, but a problem nonetheless, because there wasn't nobody for me to just call and be like, oh, can you just help me out real quick? So I'm like, yo, I say something online just because I was like stuck out here. I'm like, oh man, I would love to have a pizza. And guess what happened? Guess what happened, y'all? Can you hit me with another applause, please? My man sent me a pizza, dog.
Shout out.
That shit meant the world to me, because it wasn't about being like, not being able to get food or like not being able to take care of yourself. It was a problem that I was in that moment. Definitely. And it was like, damn, now I'm not going to eat till I can at least get out to my wallet, which might be a day or two or something, It was a big deal, man. So I definitely wanted to start out like that. That was just a few weeks ago, yo. So you're the man, dog. And I really appreciate that. So,
anytime,
but that just speaks to your character. And so I'm glad to have you here. DizzoBay.
Yes, sir.
DizzoBay. I think you deserve him. He can go as crazy as he want with him, because I think you deserve him, to be honest. So he's going off, but yeah, you deserve him, especially after showing that character. So with that said, you used to go by a different name, right?
Oh yeah,
and it was LC.
LC, I still got the C on me.
Which I love it. Which stood for what?
Lost Cause.
That's what it did stand for, right? Yeah. Now I was gonna say that because I knew that, but I wasn't 100% sure. But that's how far we go back. So let's kind of talk about that. How did you get started into making music and kind of wanting to be an artist?
Man, it was really following Ice Cube.
Wow.
Saw how NWA came
reference.
Up. That's actually what this tattoo is. It's the first part of his, what would you call it? No, sheet music.
Yeah, for sure.
The first line of his sheet music from Today Was a Good Day.
That's right crazy. There. I was just going to make it Today Was a Good Day reference.
So honestly, that's one of the first beats I kind of messed around on. It was definitely trash. I'm glad I never recorded it.
How did you get turned on to Ice Cube, though? Was it like somebody in your household, or was it like older friends, or was that just, why was it Ice Cube?
A large amount of
West Coast influence or
music. I think it honestly was Friday, and there was people I was hanging around.
Fair enough.
They were rapping. We were watching Friday recently.
Friday had a wild impact.
Yeah, it did. The first time I ever heard rap was 50 Cent. I didn't even hear Eminem before then or nothing.
So were you just living in a different type of household, or what music did you hear growing up? Like, what was playing in your house?
Like 70s rock.
Gotcha. Yeah. Classic rock. We were talking about that earlier off camera. Yeah, I'm a big 70s rock guy.
Yeah, maybe some 80s. All the pop stuff.
For sure. So
if you want to call it that.
Yeah. So actually, let's almost bring it back a little bit. So did you grow up in Des Moines where
Oh yeah.
Are you a Des Moines native?
The fairgrounds. I mean, there's rap and stuff going on, but I just never really understood the lyricism of things or the point of the beats until I mean, when did the Massacre come out? I guess it would have been
2005.
Get Rich and Die Trying.
That came out 2003.
Yeah.
Because Get Rich or Die Trying is my favorite album of all time, but that was a moment. Like, I was still in New York then.
Hell yeah.
You know, it was like my last year in New York, actually. When it came out, it was a big deal, man. It was a big deal. Imagine. I love that album. So, okay, so how old would you have been around that time? Were you already through, like, you were in high school?
I'd been 8.
Damn. I said, would you have been in high school? My man said he'll have been 8. Yeah. I just dated myself crazy. So, okay, so these references make more sense to me now. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so
I've been listening to rap. It was just more of a time when I really don't exactly remember what happened where I wanted to start writing. One day I heard that Ice Cube beat and played
that was it, huh?
And I started writing. Yeah.
So did you start then kind of getting around other artists or people? Well, back then when we were so young, it's not necessarily artists, but like other rappers or people wanting to, make beats on the table and all that type of stuff? Or
that's exactly what it was. And then, of course, all the garage parties and
for sure
basement parties.
Were you a big live
freestyle
rapper?
Back then I could freestyle. I don't know. I think I got too focused on writing and becoming a writer.
But even then, like back in the day, you could like rap some written stuff you had memorized because every single thing wasn't, it wasn't on camera every single time. Exactly. I'd be getting heat for that. But I'm like, man, I'm just trying to rap to get people going. But I always loved live rapping. So ciphers, things like that were happening in those parties?
All the time.
Any battles?
A few times, yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like this? Because I feel like back in the day, ciphers, they weren't battles, but they kind of were like, who raps the best?
Who's
so they
better?
Weren't like, they weren't like direct at the person next to you, but it was a lot of machismo rapping.
I'm better.
Yeah, right? So I felt like that's how ciphers were. So is that what's kind of going on at those parties? For sure. It's steel sharpens steel type of thing. Exactly. Some people are whack though.
They were.
Were you ever at a party where they told somebody they were whack?
Honestly, I never experienced that much here.
For sure?
Yeah. The first time I really saw that was in Houston. And it was like right away.
Well, Houston's like the freestyle capital of the world, no? I feel like if you let them tell it,
Probably, yeah. They probably would go for that.
I used to. That's where Lil Flip's from, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Like I was thinking they used to freestyle, Swisher House, all that. Texas was like real big on freestyle early.
10-minute long songs.
Yeah. That was a good time. Texas is actually because in New York, growing up in New York, like all we consumed was New York music back then. Because like there wasn't like heavy internet music, so you were getting stuff from the radio and mixtapes. So in New York, when I was growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, it was, we didn't hear anything else really, unless it was huge on like MTV or something. But the second like wave of music though, when I moved to Ohio, I got into Texas music, dog, and I just fell in love with it. My man turned me on to Chameleon Air, and then I learned about Paul Wall. And then even like Bun B and Pimp C, like I grabbed all that stuff late because in New York we just weren't playing that. Sure. But man, that Texas music, man, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I love listening to.
You have some ties there, no?
Hell yeah! Shout out to Chaotic.
So we're kind of big facts. Give him a boom boom boom. Can you give my man a boom boom boom, man? Man, shout out to him for sure, man. Man. We gonna link, man. Yeah, we don't want to. Okay, so you find today was a good day.
Hell yeah.
You're like, I want to just rap and see what happens.
Yeah.
You felt good enough about it, or at least you felt the passion, the fire, you wanted to continue to do it. What did that look like?
No, it was trash.
No, but I mean, but you knew you wanted to do it. So did you start like writing songs? Like, were you kind of just like writing?
Yeah, that was a good old YouTube beat. And I mean, that was back when.
I remember recording on a karaoke machine.
Same era when I started writing was like Lil Wayne was taking.
So what year are we talking about when you started putting pen to pad, you think? Like around what time, just to have a reference?
Had to be 2009, 2010.
Got you. Honestly, like I got here in 2011. So I probably met you like, 12, 13, something. Yeah. So pretty early. So because I've been here for a while now. That's actually kind of crazy to hear you say that. So you have a gift. At some point you realize that you can put pen to pad.
It started to become better when I realized what bars were and how to make them.
Got you.
When I had that heavy
structure
hitting,
and things like that.
Yeah, when I figured out the sequence and how long you would have to make a line to make it a bar, how you would fit it into the beat until you got to the hook. And then that's when I started writing hooks.
Got you. And so, like, at first, were you just writing hooks and then formatting them to beats later? Or were you, like, finding a beat
I was just
and writing a hook to the beat?
Exactly.
To skip all the way ahead till today, is your process the same? Do you come up with a chorus and then find a beat later? Or is it sometimes you'll have a beat and then the chorus kind of comes from it? What is the process like today?
So now today, I usually go through the beats, a large selection. So I'll go through like one of my producers' websites, go through like 30 beats, and then I'll go back to 5 of them that I was stuck with, and then I'll go back to 3, and then I'll find that one.
And then and you'll create from scratch?
From scratch. I'll usually
I want to just kind of feel
out the vibe of what it is, and then maybe I'll start with a hook, and then I'll get a title, or I'll start out with a title. It's never really the same thing, and that's honestly why most of my songs don't sound the same as the last one.
I agree with that. So, so I wanted to kind of tie that together to what your process is today. So back then, you're just writing. You just love to write. So what was like your first time kind of recording, or who got you in the studio?
Man, I think we were recording in a basement over by the Bottoms. And also my buddy Keyshawn, shout out KV. He had a laptop and I can't even remember what it was called, Cubase. So we were running Cubase on a bunch of instrumentals from mainstream songs at the time.
Yeah, that was the best. I miss those days. Were you like, what time was this when you kind of started recording? Like what? So you started writing around 2009, you said?
Probably 2012, 2013.
So a few years later, you started recording.
Yeah.
Got you. So what was like the first studio you got in? Was it Explicit? Was that like the first booth you got in?
Yeah, it had to
Shout out to Explicit, man.
Yeah.
Legend, for sure.
Next We Trust. I still go to him. I still fuck with him.
No, yeah, he's a man. We got a amazing interview will come out at some point. We have a lot of history. We did a lot of cool stuff together.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah, he's the man. So, but that's what I mean. So I know that part of the story. So is that kind of where you ended up when you started taking yourself serious?
Yeah. He learned my sound, really. So anytime I go in, I can explain to him how I want the song to go. I can throw back to a track that we already did, maybe.
So around what year did you kind of link up with him or start taking yourself serious?
Around 2013.
So it was around the same time. Like 14, you guys kind of started recording in the basement, and you went to the studio pretty quickly within that first year or two?
Yeah, and then I was in there with obviously Lame Nation at the time.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Shout out to Duke for sure. Yeah. Big facts. We got to get with. They'll be on soon too, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They're about to be dropping some fire. Him and Flea got a song called DND's dropping this month too.
Man, yo, them guys they've been working forever too, though. Yeah. I remember going to Lame Nation release parties in Marshalltown like 10 years ago, like maybe even longer than that. I went to like all of them too, like. So yeah, they've been grinding forever, yo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, shout out to those dudes. They got a dope story to tell. Looking forward to that for sure.
For sure, him and Ray West just dropped today.
Yeah, I think I saw it. So you make it to X's studio, and so what's the first project look like? How does that come together?
I can't even remember what it used to be, man. Probably instrumentals I found on YouTube.
So what was your sound like then? If you had to like quantify it or describe it.
I definitely remember I was more I was definitely open about that stuff back then.
You were a rebel before you were a rebel?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
I was more
I remember. I ain't gonna lie. I remember, obviously, because I've known you for a long time. So to me,
I don't want to drop the T word, but that's probably what I was closer to back then.
I just feel like I've always respected the fact that your energy hasn't changed. You're just polished and mature. That's why I used protector heavy in the intro, because I think that's what, man has no higher calling than being a father and a protector. And
that's a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. So you get into the studio and you're making music. What is kind of, how is things going? How does it first take off? What's the first project? Like, do you start doing shows? Like, what happens from there? You're a big deal, man.
I gotta be your own biggest critic. Back then I was
That's a fact. And I have to be telling people all the time, put out your stuff, man.
Yeah.
Put out your stuff, man, because I was actually, shout out to Equinox off cam, running the show for us. I was telling him the other day.
We got something we need to just drop too.
Facts. But I was saying how a lot of times we can always tell ourselves we can do better, and then we never put it out. You know what I'm saying? I remember Bun B said in an interview one time, he was like, I don't even take my music from the studio no more. He's like, because I don't want to listen to it a bunch of times and then have it become old to me, because it's new to everyone else, no matter what.
Right there.
So he said he just left it at the studio until it was time to put it out. So that way he didn't run through it and say, I got to change it. Obviously, we know the biggest culprit of that is Kanye. Even back when he was great, it was like, and Andre 3000, like, it's almost like, you're almost like a prisoner of your own greatness sometimes.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because creatives are their own biggest critics, a lot of times artists. So all right. We got it. Listen, man.
We got to hold on.
Yeah, no, and we got to celebrate you, man. Listen, I know you're a reserved guy. You know what I'm saying? I know you've had a journey and all that. So, but you've been super consistent. People speak very highly of you. I get to say people speak very highly of you now because I have it on camera.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? So I get to say things because I'm a media platform now, So your name has always came up. There's just some people whose names I'm just gonna, like some people like Ray West,
sure.
Legendary name that always comes up, So but yeah, your name comes up a lot as like maybe your favorite rapper's favorite rapper here type of thing, So come on. So at some point you really started to polish your game.
Yeah, I would say probably Houston.
So you've mentioned that a few times now. So let's talk about, it almost feels like one of those movies where like, we're not going to talk about Houston. Like the way you're saying Houston is like, hey man, what do you mean you have a box labeled Houston? That's not supposed to exist anymore.
Don't be looking at that.
Yeah. So, okay. So Houston, go ahead and what does that mean? So kind of say what that means. You're here in Des Moines. Houston doesn't exist to you one day. Something happens, obviously, that makes Houston a big part of your story. Walk us through that.
Sure, we moved down there. I had a job lined up.
So that's what I mean. He's just like, yeah, we just moved there. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, people would love to leave their hometown and it's too scary. He like, oh, we just moved.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was. It was time.
What made you want to go to Houston then?
Honestly, I wanted to. Everybody,
did you throw a dart at a map?
Not necessarily. I mean, I already knew Chaotic. I had
so speak about that because he's the man, yo. Love that dude. So speak about that. So what did that? Probably internet stuff because that's the world we live in, right? You guys met online, but I have real relationships with people I've met online. Like that's just the world we live in that I would kill for.
Not even sure I'm supposed to say the name. It's like a secret. I wouldn't say.
No, that's fine. So you met him.
Yeah, it's like a football talking shit group, but it turned it more into like we'd chop each other's faces on the ass of an animal and do terrible things to each other.
Good times, man. Sounds like a blast.
For sure.
So you really get to know somebody in that type of situation. So you meet Chaotic, rock solid dude. So at some point he's like, yo, I'm here. I'm already established. You're looking for a fresh start. That's probably how the conversation's going.
Offered some things.
And also an artist who's been grinding forever, done tons of incredible things.
He has a song with Little Flip.
Honestly, I'll probably just do something remote, but would love to get him in studio again someday. He's been here. Check that out. That's on YouTube. You find that in places. One of my favorite shows so far. And we've been here almost a year now. We're coming on our anniversary, actually, which is crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Many more. No, yeah, I'm excited for that. So you're like, all right, were you with your?
Yeah, she was pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at for lack of a better word, definitely like a cross. You're kind of really thinking about what your future looks like at this point.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
So you moved to Houston.
Yeah, I had a job lined up, but 2 days before we went down, they called and said they chose someone else. But we already had the moving truck. We already paid months of rent at the place.
So
we pulled up.
So fuck it, you go anyway.
There, we go. I mean, I'm not wasting thousands, but we pull up to one of the hottest.
And you bet on yourself anyway.
Through the whole process, I grew. Yeah.
So you get down there, and it's like, shit, we better figure it out, huh?
Definitely, yeah. We moved into the jungle of the north side, Independence Heights, on a street that was high crime rate.
So around what time? Around what year was this?
2018.
Okay.
And I just had to handle shit. I had to find a way to get us through. We burnt through our savings, had nothing else. I didn't even have enough to ride the bus, but I finally got a job right on time to pay rent. So I had to ride a bike 32 miles a day. 16 to 16 back home.
Damn.
And just through that whole process, I had a lot of time on that bike. I actually got hit on that bike and had to start riding the bus once I had some checks coming in. But I had a lot of time to write and just listen to beats. And that was around the time I also started purchasing beats.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably had a lot of time to grow and develop too.
Oh, I had
during that struggle of having to do that, because that is impressive to do. And I'm somebody who came from the gutter and had to do it myself, so I get it. But I'm sure you did some soul searching during that time as well.
Oh, I had a lot of time for that, yeah.
For sure. So you find a job.
Yeah.
Things are going to be all right.
Exactly.
So what's the music looking like down there? What are you recording down there? Or
Amazing.
you kind of
Yeah, dude, that was the first time I actually been in a multi-studio facility where you'd walk in and saw the artist coming in and out as you're going in.
Sure.
I saw a K-pop artist there. I'm not sure of his name, but he was
very cool.
He was definitely all chained and dressed in some fine stuff.
Fire.
Turned out to be the same studio that even Toby and NWA records
Yeah, I love
at.
him. I ain't gonna lie, I love him, yo. Yeah. I love. And you, the way you enunciated his name too. You're hip. Yeah, no, I love him.
Yeah,
he's fire, yo.
He in the same studio.
That's very dope. Very dope. So, and is this through Chaotic? Is this?
Yeah, that's where he goes. It's called Baron Studios. I'm not sure of the address, but you can look it up.
So I should have asked you. Did you put out a project or projects before you went to Houston, or were you just recording music?
No, it was like SoundCloud stuff,
and you were just recording music.
Yeah.
But you were in a studio.
Yeah.
You were going to Explicits at that point,
yeah.
which is a beautiful sound and a great studio.
That's where all my stuff comes
for sure.
from. Yep.
Basically, you get down there, get on your feet, and just kind of continue. Do you put out projects there, or what do you do with your music while you're in Houston?
Not technically. I didn't drop anything.
Are you still putting stuff on SoundCloud and stuff like that?
I recorded I Can See down there. That was recorded in Barron's. I recorded a song with Chaotic. I can't remember. Fourth Quarter with Kobe on my Rebel Season album. That was recorded down there. I recorded a few songs. I just never got a full project in down there.
So how long were you down there?
A year.
So did you come back 2019 or something?
2020. So
a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
So was it pandemic related that you came back?
My mom got sick, but man, the pandemic, they try to say it came in March? It was down there in November, September.
So but that had something to do with having to relocate?
Not necessarily. It was just mom getting sick, you know, having to come back. And
got you. So you came back, but it also came back, and it is pandemic at that point. Yeah. Were you still creating or writing at that time, or?
Definitely. That's a Rebel. Rebel came out 2021.
Well, I almost asked you when you became a rebel, but I guess wasn't your birthday. So, like, you know what I'm saying? I know. But when did you start using that moniker, kind of using it more in your music?
Rebel Mind was a thing. Me and Flea came up with that back in.
Shout out to Flea. We got to get him in here. Yeah. So just for people who are definitely gonna watch, because you have a dope story and you're still creating and still on the grind. So you start making music, you start recording it with your friends, and then end up at Explicits. Where does Flea come in? Because obviously you guys linked before you went to Houston, right?
Yeah, I met him at parties with around the same time I was with Duke and SNF and all them. So Flea was.
Were you still LC at this time?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah. The parties were crazy. Shout out to those.
Good times. It was good times. Yeah, I got to experience some of those too. So y'all linked, kind of bonded, and started creating together, or?
Hell yeah, man. We just
clicked. Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
No, yeah, he's a musical. Yeah, I fuck with him, yo.
I keep telling him he needs to get his beats on that fucking shit. He's just got that sound where sometimes I don't even want to hear nobody rapping on it. I just want to listen to it on.
Yeah, he's a super talented cat. So you meet him, and then y'all form
Rebel Mind. Yeah.
So that was before you went to Houston.
Yeah.
And then you is that when was Chaotic involved in it before you went down there?
Chaotic's definitely been with us
since before you went to Houston.
Yeah, before we went to Houston.
Got you. So you come back, you had a lot going on. You mentioned that your mom was sick, so you come back, and so what does life look like? What's going on at that point?
Man, I got a baby. I'm back home. Feels amazing. I tried to get back on the job that screwed me when we moved down there, and I got on. And then, of course, when COVID hit, I wouldn't say I screwed them, but
you did the thing. You did the COVID thing.
I used the work from home option, and then just didn't work from home. So
for sure, yeah, I'm sure that was So were you creating during this time?
Hell yeah. We made Rebel.
So at what point do projects start coming up?
2021, I dropped that one, but I was also featuring with Chaotic and Flea.
On an entire project?
Not yet, man. We've been talking about a Rebel thing and we got the people to do it. Bobby Vuelo, Chaotic, Flea. We could get Houston on there. We can easily do all that, but
for sure,
we need to get all the right beats everyone wants to get on.
For sure. We was talking about that earlier. Sometimes you just gotta get the art out, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. So you start putting out projects in 2021. So you put out your first project.
Yeah, Rebel.
And then so kind of walk us through from there.
And we had Cyberpunk 22.
Yeah, to give us the timeline.
2023 was Rebel season.
And you're performing during this time as well?
I've slowed down on performances because I didn't want to oversaturate Des Moines.
Were you doing features during this time? Or
yeah, I got a lot of features out.
Who were some of the artists you worked with?
Chaotic, obviously.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Flea, obviously. Smooth. Shout out to
Yeah.
Love Smooth, man. Love Smooth, man.
I got a few with Ray West. They should be coming out.
Legend.
We need to make more. DK.
Oh yeah. He's one of the day ones here, man.
He's doing amazing things.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to see it. I ain't shit, but I just saw it right away and definitely wanted to embrace that shit because he does, and he's just also a super genuine cat. He's just very connected to the soil. I kind of really like that. So yeah, shout out to DK
for sure.
You worked with Trip, right?
Hell yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah, I honestly just sent him another beat. He said he fucked with, so that's a good sign.
And you worked with Duke, probably, right?
Yeah, I actually he's dropping a single for his project coming this month, but I do also have a song with him on that project.
Y'all got a song together?
Yeah, we got one. We recorded recently.
Equinox?
Yes, sir. That's just a banger too. We got to? Hell yeah.
So
we're about to have 3, bro.
Who are some artists you want to work with that maybe you haven't yet?
I just sent a beat to Rome Oliver recently. He said he fucks.
Shout out to Rome, man. That's my guy, man. You'll see Rome on here soon, man. He always grinded, man.
Yeah,
he's a worker.
Naj, I want to get
man. That's what I'm saying, man. Naj is an amazing rapper.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? No, for sure. But I mean, Naj is
he got the bars
he's like a Swiss Army knife, kind of.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't even know how deadly it is, but bro, I'll get up out of here with a Swiss Army knife. It'll get the job done. You hear what I'm saying? That shit deadly. Yeah, Naj is really like that because shout out to Naj. So yeah, no, that's some dope features. So are you working on a project?
Oh yeah, all in good time.
Well, let's talk about the last project.
Burn the Bridge. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what is your favorite project you've ever put out?
Quality.
Just what to you? If you have to rank your projects, what are you putting at number one? Even if it might change, like you just whatever your answer is right now.
Rebel season.
Got you. Just because of the culmination of all the way that was your first project, right?
No, that was a third.
Oh, because that was after Cyberpunk and what was the first one?
Rebel. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Rebel.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So that was part of the. So did Flea have anything to do with kind of motivating you to start putting out projects, or Rebel in general? Because it seems like once you formed that, you were like, all right, it's time to make sure I'm putting something out.
Yeah, I mean, he dropped all those a better version mixtapes where he just smashes industry beats
for sure.
But he also dropped Chosen.
Man, check all that shit out.
Chosen was what I was bumping in Houston a lot. It got me through all those days riding on the bike. Yeah, I still listen to that album. It's all produced by him and recorded by him, written.
Where can people find it?
Everywhere.
There you go. That's Fleet of Genius.
Fleet of Genius, Chosen. Go check that one out for sure.
Got you. So you do your last album. You do a show for it.
Hell yeah,
successful show, fun. You bring the Houston homies here. You know what I'm saying? So that rollout and that was probably a good time. That album probably felt good.
Yeah, I mean it definitely helped that we did that little promotion.
Oh, here. For sure. No, but it just shows the growth too of it shows your Houston connection, everything coming together. So that's what I'm saying. You can see it building up. So what's the next project look like?
Mine is all in good time. It's really interesting.
Is that the name of it, or is that we're gonna have to wait a while? What is it?
I mean, I named it that for a good reason. Yeah.
Got you.
Everybody keeps asking me, when's the next one? What's the next one? And I can just answer with both of those. Same
got
thing.
You. So, but is it where is it at? Is it 60%, 40%? Are you just designing it right now?
I got 2 more beats to purchase and I'm ready to record.
Got you. Got the art and stuff kind of thought about and
yeah.
Word. So is that going to come out this year?
Yeah.
This summer, maybe?
It's been the pattern, yeah.
You're going to try to do a kind of a rollout for it?
Oh, hell
maybe
yeah.
we could do some kind of listening session or something. Yeah, that would be dope. So when's the next time you getting the Houston homies up here?
Chaotic was just talking about trying to come up. I was supposed to go down there this coming month, but things are happening with life. And
life be life.
I'm hoping that I was supposed to be on a plane with my family, and I don't know what's going on that's not supposed to be done. Hopefully the plane doesn't crash or whatever. I know stuff been going on recently with all the planes.
Stuff has been going on.
Yeah.
Helicopters too.
Yeah, I just see, honestly,
helicopter went into like the Hudson River or something.
Yeah.
In New York.
That was a bad one too.
Yeah.
Everybody had a family on there.
Yeah, and you saw the helicopter came, and then you seen the whole tail come after. Yeah, came after it.
I don't trust helicopters.
It was like broke. It was a catastrophic failure.
Now you can't trust. I mean, airplanes seems like they just fall out too. Now they're not supposed to do that.
Bro, I'm so anxious. I'm not sure if I trust any of this. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just me, man. Yeah, I just kind of process it as I go, man. True. You know. So yeah, man. Okay, so Rebel is as a theme here.
Yeah.
Are you a rebel?
It's a lifestyle. Hell yeah.
Got it. Is that so? You can't say the T word, so I'm glad that you didn't. I feel like rebel is like kind of like a version of that word, that like a PG version of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine T word mine. We would have been shut down for sure already.
Yeah. So now let's. So we got a little. Yeah. I think I've said it. I think you're a super dope artist, but I've also think you've gotten better and more. At least what I feel like, and what I like seeing with any artist that I've been able to follow for a long time, is as you see them start to get comfortable in their pocket and they start to kind of really come into their sound. At least that's what I felt like on the last album. Now, granted, I spent more time with that, but I've listened to your music over the years. I've tried. My goal is to try to be a fan of all the people that I've met and formed relationships with. So I feel like this product really, and I think it felt like very, because Burn the Bridges, like the whole thing is symbolic, but it also felt relevant musically. Sonically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I felt like it had a good sound.
That was a healing one.
No, so I loved that album. But so let me ask you this. So then so you're a father now.
It's a blessing, man.
Yeah, you're a provider, a family man. Are you married?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So you're a husband. Yeah, shout out to that. Big facts. So yeah, you have a beautiful family. Let me ask you, how do you still keep that fire, of like raging against the machine, for lack of a better word, but being able to go home and like, roll around with your kid or play Legos or whatever? Because let's keep it real. Even though we know everything is not what it seems and it's a mess, we still protect our kids from that. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're younger, we kind of control the way they look at the world. If you keep a peaceful home, then they grow up in a peaceful world, So how do you manage kind of having that fire in you, but not necessarily having her kind of trained to go to war?
I gotta hold my composure in every setting. And it's really the kids that save me. And I mean, who we're against, they're saving them too, because if it wasn't for the kids, I'm sure I might have slipped up at some point or snapped and just went off the grid and did my own thing, did what I felt. Because years ago, I felt I was here to do something completely different than what I'm doing now. I felt that things are going on in the world and other places that are people taking action, and I was thinking I was going to do the same. But then, obviously, the kids, now I got to do something better for them. I want them to be in a peaceful world. And, it holds me at bay, really. But I still got to keep that mind state that if I were to be gone, whenever that happens, I'd be giving them little pieces of information here and there, like this isn't true, or they're not telling you the whole truth about that. Obviously, they're still young, so I'm not gonna.
No, I get what you're saying.
They knocked down the towers, which they weren't even alive back then, so they don't get that. Every year, there's something going on. They're putting on the news, on the screens. You need to pay attention to this while they're doing this over here. I mean, it's a classic, thousands of years old tactic.
No, I don't disagree. People. So I don't disagree with you. So I just I think I was interested to see how
you gotta hold that fire inside, keep it burning.
You said something that stood out to me, because you were like, I thought I was gonna do something, or that I was gonna fight for change, or however you worded it, but had the kids and stuff, and now you got a family to raise and all that. It's kind of interesting, because I can tell you, like, obviously I lived a different life, thought I was into different things, and I have Melody, who I had to raise by myself, and kind of, so I really dived in and focused on that. But now she's older. I put a good human in the world, But you then that journey comes back. So that's what I wanted to tell you is that like, but now I'm better, I'm wiser, I'm smarter because I learned so much. Because this is what I found interesting in what you said. You were like, oh, I thought I was going to do something great in the world, or however you worded it. But then the kids, there is no higher calling.
No,
and this is my opinion, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it throughout the whole time of ever seeing me on camera. Man has no higher calling than being a father and a provider. So once you realize that and you do it, then your fight becomes easier because you're kind of grounded in the fact that you know who you are and what you are. So now you know what you're fighting for.
Going here, but once the kids come, your pathway stops and your path is now wherever they're going.
And especially if you get rooted in it and take it serious. But then what I can tell you is there's life after that, and the journey doesn't change. No, I'm my kid, shout out to Melon Ball. She just moved into her own place, works hard, 2 jobs. She's a rock star. But so now I have that burning feeling again for whatever my, passions are, whether they're to kind of get in the trenches with the home or the different things that I'm going to do, because I'm going to fight for change as well. That's who I am. But I can tell you that I also focused on my kid and raising a strong, good house. But I learned so much that now I feel like I am going to actually make those changes that I wanted to make when I was way younger.
And you have a better perception on how to do
it. I want you to know that you're still going to do something great in the world. Fathers do.
Back then, I couldn't imagine. Fathers do. I hated politicians, and I mean, most of them are still, give me money. But
I hate that shit. But I hate money in general. So, and it's easy to say that, I guess, but I really. It's not a
maybe fan. Down the line somewhere, I could become a politician and donate everything they give me, as long as I can make changes the right way.
I promise you're just getting started.
For sure.
You're just getting started. So yeah, being a father is a big deal. You obviously mentioned some, and I'm only saying conspiracies for term use for the people. You mentioned some conspiracies or some things that you think about or things you fight back at. You mentioned politicians. You said all the things that. So what is a typical kind of rabbit hole look like for you? Like, will you spend a day, 2 days, a month? Like, have you ever found yourself in an insane rabbit hole of searching for information? I mean, I know you have. What does that look like?
Did you know that? Did you know that circumcision is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry?
So to answer my question, deep rabbit holes. I'm guessing, right?
Very deep, man.
So is that you're like how, some people be like, oh, I get caught up in Netflix watching a show for a week or a month. You get caught up in investigating and researching circumcisions and shit like that.
Once it gets to that point, I'm like, all right, that's it for the night. Turn off my phone.
Now you're tired the next day.
Where did my royalties for my foreskin go? Because I never got paid.
We're going to clip that. Where did my royalties for? That's what we should name the episode. So man, no, I'm really glad you took the time to stop by. I hope to keep seeing you, be a regular guest. And like how I started that I really appreciate you looking out for me. But, character is just something that doesn't really need to be said, so.
Anytime, man. We're all here for each other.
No, I always say that, all we got is us. And to me, it's just a bigger term of, when I say that, I just mean people in the trenches, man. I use that term a lot. And me and Melody were talking about it today. It's like, I'm always in the trenches with my people. My brother's well off, and that's what we were talking about. And he's disconnected from everyone, you know what I'm saying? And the people we grew up with. It's and me and Melody were talking about how that's never going to be me, just because I'm in the trenches with people. I don't care what I have, then we have it. And people will tell you, at least for me, people will be like, oh, that's naive or kindness is a weakness. It's nah, bruh, let's come find out then. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a tough guy shit. It's no, I stand on this. I want to help. I want to be in the trenches with people. And I never want to forget where I came from, no matter how big what I'm doing gets. So I'm with you in that sense, man, because I just want to help. And sometimes people will be like, oh, that's just a cliche thing you say. It's no. There's people out here that are living it. So when I say we all we got, I mean those people. And a lot of times I'll say things like we fighting a good fight. I mean the people who are out here genuinely trying to be decent people. It's not easy, yo. Yeah. It would be much easier to fight back and be bitter or pissed off or angry and justifiably so is what I mean. The people I know who are whole life is surrounded by the fact that we're all being treated the way we are. It's justifiable. I just chose to have Melody her human experience not be defined by that until she was old enough to decide on her own. And she has strong views, and she's a very strong, independent, free thinker who is going to help people, but she had to find that on her own. I wanted her to grow up in a peaceful home, the same that you're doing. Your family is beautiful. I feel like a lot of people will say they'll hashtag goals, you guys. So I just want to shout that out, you know what I'm saying? And I know everything ain't sunshine and puppies everywhere in the world, you know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful to see y'all grow together, and you know what I'm saying? It's been awesome kind of watching your journey become, because you were a fired up kind of, you know, firecracker, for lack of a better word, when you were younger. You know, I've seen it. So
I could bet my NSA agent was kind of worried back then. They probably sleep a little better now.
And now you're out here really holding shit down. So you should feel proud. So we got more music coming. That's exciting. That's exciting.
Some fire.
We'll see you any shows this summer. You gonna do any performing?
I'm sure. I'm honestly trying to hold another benefit. I know I usually do them in the.
Oh yeah, let's before we get out of here, let's talk about that. Christmas time. You do Christmas things, right?
That was massive last year, man.
I said, well, when you say that, what is it? What are we talking about? Just so people, they deserve to know.
So I'm kind of like a liaison between Blank Children Hospital and the community during those times.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, no, I know that, but I want you to tell the people.
We do toy drives and sometimes fundraisers if we can get the time in for that. Last year, 2024, I'm in the current process of working to become a firefighter, so I have a connection in the fire department of Des Moines. His name is Amon Douglas. Shout out to him. He's an amazing guy. And I approached him just trying to get one of the boxes for toys set up in the administration building, and he called me back and he said that we got approved to put them in all 13 fire departments. So we had toy boxes in all the fire departments in Des Moines.
Wow.
Shout out to them. They were an anonymous donor, but they kept bringing truckloads of, like, pickup truck full of, I'd say, Adventureland toys or like circus toys, and it filled up my basement. I had to get a 22-foot box truck.
Wow, that's incredible.
Take
man.
to Blank Children's even called me back like, hey, we can't take all of these. So we kind of surpassed what we've done before. It's definitely making me plan more for this coming one. We'll be able to donate to more than just Blank Children's. And
beautiful thing.
This summer I'm trying to do.
That's how you rebel.
Exactly.
That's how you rebel. Well, because they can't kill it. They can't kill it.
It's going to grow.
That's what I'm saying. They can't kill it.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Man, DizzoBay. Go out, Equinox, helping us out over there. Helping us out off the camera. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Better views, do better. BEDDER-MEDA, taking the eye out of media. I'm in no rush. You know what I'm saying? I'm just enjoying myself, trying to celebrate my friends, tell good stories. You know what I'm saying? We'll have you back on to talk about whatever's going on in the local news, man. You know, I just want to get people's voices heard, and this is also how we fight back. We can get good, solid information. I feel like there's a lot of people that are looking for genuine information as opposed to shock value, steal out the store and run type of stuff. And I'm not saying that's going away. We're always going to love a car crash. That's who we are. We're America. Well, we're the world, to be fair. Right. The world loves a car crash.
Earth is third world country, world.
For sure. Yeah. But I do think a lot of people are going towards wanting to hear just real stories about real toy drives and real things that real people are doing, because AI and the internet will make you really feel like you're the only person out here fighting a good fight. So I want to get those stories out there. So I appreciate you being here, man. And you brought us some tacos, man. The fucking tacos, man.
Yeah, shout out La Familia.
Wow. Nah, I appreciate you, man. We're going to get up out of here. Yes, so glad you're here. This will be out. What's today? Today's Monday, Tuesday?
April 15th.
Wednesday? Damn, I know I'm a mess. I just sent 3 different days. Today's Tuesday, I think. Yeah. Today's Tuesday for sure. Oh, yeah. Today's Tuesday. It'll be out Wednesday. Because we working. We figuring shit out here. Do better. Hey, man, it's been a great time, man. I appreciate you. We're going to get up out of here, man. Y'all be cool.